All right, we're here with head coach Jim Dapkus of the Lincoln baseball team. And coach, last weekend your team finally got on the winning side against Pittsburg State. Talk about that game, especially the play of Chris Fowl in it.
Chris just showed up, pitched a great game, pitched out of a couple of jams. We had some really good defensive plays when we needed them. That could have been momentum-shifting plays. Logan Smith made a great catch in the outfield that probably saved the game for us. Greg Jones had a big hit for us. It was a good team win, but by far Chris was the major factor in the game. He just really pitched a great game for us.
Through the first couple of weeks of the season, your team struggled to get some hits. You finally got your bats going against Pittsburg State a little bit, but you also had some costly errors in those games.
Yeah, a little bit. We're still putting a lot of pressure on ourselves offensively. We're not scoring a lot of runs, and it's one of those things we don't want to keep talking to the kids about it. Everybody kind of knows what's going on with us offensively, and hopefully we will come out of it at some point. But it puts a lot of pressure on your pitching and defense when you're not scoring runs. And we had one terrible game against Pitt where we just could not field the ball and we couldn't throw it, and it ended up costing us big time. But for the rest of the series, we actually played pretty good defense and we pitched the ball okay. We're just not scoring a lot of runs.
Well, when you look at your pitching, you've given up a lot of runs, but if you look at the individual stat lines for each pitcher, a lot of those runs aren't earned. So
yeah.
How would you say that your pitching is doing overall?
The pitching's doing okay. We talk to the kids all the time about, no matter how much, we talk to them about not walking guys or not having errors or not hitting guys. It's part of the game and it's going to happen. And for us, the big part is what happens with that next guy that comes up, because that next guy can potentially get a rally going for the other team. Because obviously when something bad happens, the kids are going to drop a little bit, and we really need our pitchers to kind of step up and really get that next guy, or have somebody make a play to make sure that we're not letting the other team get an inning going by stuff that we are creating. So it's kind of, but the pitching, to answer your question, the pitching has been good. It's kept us in games for the most part. Once again, going back to the offense, we got to find a way to get some hot bats going and be able to score some more runs.
Well, through the early part of the season, you had some injuries, as everybody did. St. Pierre was out for a game or two. Klugman was out, but it seems like those guys are back in. How would you say the health of your team is right now?
The health is good. We don't really have any major injuries. We've got a little bit of depth on the team, so even if hopefully that doesn't happen, but if it does happen, we'll be able to kind of cover ourselves. But for us to be successful, we obviously need everybody to be healthy and everybody contribute, whether it is a pinch run or a pinch hit or coming in out of the bullpen or what. We got to keep everybody healthy.
Well, you did start the season on a bit of a snide, but right now you're just 1-3 in the conference, which is a pretty good position to be in. So, looking ahead to this weekend when you continue conference play, what's going to be the key to going in and building off your success at Pittsburg State?
It's what we told the kids after the Pitt State series. This is kind of it's a marathon in terms of every weekend. We got 4 games, and we've got to be able to make sure that we're not in a situation where anybody takes 4 games from us. We got to try to win as many road games as we possibly can, and then when it comes to the point where we finally get to play at home, we take care of our home field, and that's going to hopefully put us in a situation where we are competing for a playoff spot at the end of the year.
Well, you don't get to play at home until next week. Is all the road traveling making your team worn out, or how's the energy level?
I think the energy level is good, but at the same time, you'd love to play at home. And we, like I said, we're going to play, I think, our first 15 or something like that on the road, and that's hard to do. When we were in the Heartland, we had to do it every year, so it's something I'm accustomed to. But at the same time, it'd be nice to be able to play at home and not have to worry about the travel and hotels and getting guys up and all that kind of stuff that kind of comes along with the road. You just like to be able to play at home, and we know that it's coming up. It's just a matter of we got an SBU team that's gotten off to a really good start. They did very good against Emporia State, so that's kind of got us concerned, but we got to go down there and hopefully put on a good show for this weekend and make sure that the home games that we get later on in the year mean something, and we got to be able to win some of these road games to make sure that happens.